It is currently the 20th of January 2021. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. We have our area of low pressure just offshore of Legazpi over there towards Bicol and back towards the northwest. Already starting to see some showers pushing across the eastern coastlines of Isabela and off towards Cagayan. This area, okay, it's not going to become a tropical depression based on everything I'm seeing right now. Yesterday was pretty impressed with it, but it is kind of falling apart. Thing is, there's still loads of convection, so regardless if Bagasa gives it a name or not, it is still going to bring plenty of rainfall. That's what we're going to be talking about today with this tropical outlook. Hey, if you do want to help out make these videos even better, check out the link below. I have a Patreon account, and yeah, I do have some goals as far as making these videos that much better. But for now, let's talk about this. Cagyan De Oro, thank you very much, Prince, for sending this in. Whew, look at that. River level rises out there. Even further towards the south, this is in Cagyan De Oro. So we're talking about down towards Mindanao, Ramish. Also some significant flooding there. Over the last few days, we've been seeing that heavy rainfall, but also there is some pretty breezy conditions. This is ASCAT imagery, by the way. It is satellite-derived winds. Basically, the satellite flies over, right, in space here, shoots down, and gets an estimate on the wind because of wave action. Thus, we can't get an estimate over land, right? There's the island of Luzon. But right in here, this is showing us upwards about 30, 40 knot winds across southeastern Luzon, just off of the coastline. So for sure, fairly breezy here, not typhoon strength, but definitely enough to toss some light objects around. But really, it is all about the rainfall. Water vapor imagery just kind of shows you that convection blowing up. Also, we got that upper level winds, the diffluence pulling away. So this allows exhaust for that convection to continue to remain. So before I get into the model tracks here, let's talk about the main points for those of you who just come for that. Heavy rainfall in northeastern Luzon, still likely with a bit of flooding possible, especially across the Sierra Madre Mountains. Flooding and landslides definitely going to be a big keen thing here. So check in with the latest warnings from Bagasa. I say that time and time again. They have been doing a good job lately. I think they're a little bit vague on their extended forecast, but when they talk about actual tropical weather, you know, they do a pretty good job. So here's our low pressure area, or what you would call it, just off the coastline of Luzon here, due east of Manila. Thing is, the bulk of the convection is going to remain just northeast. So as we go ahead through Wednesday morning, heading into Wednesday evening, that convection pushes on shore. And that brings that heavy rainfall from central to northern Luzon. But of course, the heaviest there is Isabela, Cagayan, east of the mountains. Some of it is going to push over towards the river as well. So yeah, you could be seeing some river level rises out there in the Cagyan River, but over 100 millimeters all the way from Pari, yeah, extending down towards Iligan, even back here towards the south. And Cagyan De Oro, you're going to be looking at some heavier showers there as well. So, or I should say, Casiguran there. So, you know, my point is eastern Luzon, east of the Cagayan River is where the heaviest precip. There is still going to be some heavier stuff back towards the west, though at times, even Manila, you're going to be looking at passing showers. But I don't think you're going to be seeing the flooding influence here. Here's our low pressure area, by the way. It's right there, but this is all anchored to a deeper low over towards the Sulu Sea. And that is the reason why this guy's been kind of finicky on exactly where it's going to go, because it's actually kind of this just broad influence wrapping around that circulation. And you can see it here as we go into Thursday. There's our low. There's that broad influence. And then an upper level trough comes through. It's going to pick it up and kind of pull this and stretch this whole line out with scattered showers extending through Friday from the Sulu Sea, even down towards Borneo and Indonesia, where they've been seeing some flooding out that way. That whole line gets stretched out here with that next trough and cooler air spilling in behind it. What this means for Okinawa, I'm going to make a whole separate video on this for you guys. We could have some messy weather on the Friday night into Saturday across the southern Japanese islands. Still timing that out. This system also is going to bomb out over Japan. And it is going to be a beast of a storm east of Tokyo. Like I said, I'm going to check out, I'll probably try to put a link down below. I will make a whole separate video on that one as well. For now, the Philippines, hey, we're probably not going to get the all-ring, I should say, just yet. But, you know, it is, it's there on the list. By the way, a few storms already got retired this year, and now we have a few other ones, Uwan and Verbena. Hey, by the way, somebody told me this on Facebook. If you don't follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and all that good stuff, here's a fun fact about Allring. This is one of the most used tropical names of all time in the Philippines because, one, it gets used about every year. It's Allring. It's the letter A. Well, every time at least the list comes around, it gets used. And also, it usually takes place in January and February. And those storms, let's be honest, don't get to super typhoon intensity. And thus, they don't get retired. So, you know, I thought that was an interesting fact. It's just one of the most commonly used names on the historical record. Hey, thank you very much for everybody who's checked out my Patreon account, by the way. Those typhoons and super typhoons, I like to call them, people who have donated. I'm really, as I mentioned in the beginning of this update, trying to make these graphics better. I got some, and somebody's mentioned, you know, you're always saying that, Robert. I'm always trying to upgrade the graphics. I've each one of those like low pressure areas, the ones that animate, that costs money, believe it or not. The studio costs money. I'm trying my best. All this has been out of pocket for me. There's something I really want to get though, a push button graphic system, which it's not cheap, but I think we can do some great stuff if we do get it flowing. So please check out the Patreon account. Maybe if you want to sponsor too, I'll take sponsors as well if you want to put your name up on any of these videos. But number one thing for at least now, stay safe out there. As always, thanks for watching. Check in with your local warnings. And yeah, thanks for stopping by.